What's going on, Dub Nation? Happy Friday. Welcome into Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and I want to bring up an issue the Golden State Warriors have struggled with this entire season. There have been numerous things they have had to work on this entire season, whether or not that was figuring out which lineup worked best for the Warriors, not having Draymond Green get suspended every other game, but more importantly, they don't play well at home in the Chase Center. And I'm starting to think, well, you're going to have to possibly host some games if you make it in the play-in, in the playoffs. So what will this mean for the Warriors moving forward? Because if you look at how they are this year, they are 20-19 when they play at the Chase Center. They had one of the best records at home last season, winning 33 games in the Chase Center and only losing 8. However, they just moved over 500 last Sunday when they picked up that win without Curry over the Utah Jazz. This has obviously been a season-long struggle for the Golden State Warriors. So before I dive into all the facts you guys need to know about the Warriors heading into the playoffs, I need you guys to do me one thing. For all updates on the Warriors postseason, you are going to find it here, completely free. I want you guys to be in the loop with your favorite Bay Area basketball team. So all you guys have to do, I'll do all the work, is you just have to hit that sub button for me, and you're going to be completely in the know. I did a quick Google search, and the recent study does show that the home team already averages 3.2 points more than their opponent. It's pretty much like giving the Warriors a free three-pointer every time the Lakers, the Clippers, whoever, walk into their home court. Now that is a pretty big difference when it does come down to a free throw or not at the end of the game. Plus, the Warriors on the road have done phenomenal this year, which is really odd, because that's not how it's supposed to be, especially when you get an extra oomph when you play at home. The Warriors are 25-16 on the road this season. Most of their win streaks have come from road games that they've been traveling through a plane, on a bus, whatever it is. They love staying in hotels, I guess. The fact where Steph Curry's like, maybe we should start staying in hotel rooms when we play at home to start getting back into that groove. But here's what Curry said about the away games. That's what's kept the Warriors alive this entire season. The reason why the Warriors are in 9th place right now, fighting for a possibility of reaching the 7th seed, is because of what they have done against opponents on their home court. It truly does not make sense to me. But here's the good news. It makes sense to the Warriors. It makes sense to rookie Brandin Podziemski, who I'm sure loves traveling a lot this year. This is the first time he's been able to do it with some of the greatest players in the game right now, like Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. Here's what Podziemski had to say about the Warriors' success on the road. I think the road record shows how together we are. Our collectivity, what our relationships are like off the court. You use that on the road because we're the only ones we got out there. Everybody's against us. And he's not wrong, because when you look at targets on players and teams back that has been there since the last decade, it's the Warriors. They've been a dynasty. For as long as I can remember, when I first started getting into the NBA when I was in high school or even middle school. But the bad news is for the Golden State Warriors that the last 2 regular season games are at home. And that is just extremely ironic. They got the Pelicans tonight, and of course they are going to have the Spurs in their last game. So I do think the Warriors are going to have their toughest opponent tonight against the Pelicans. Maybe not so much the Spurs, but they already have a struggle when they play in front of their home crowd. And this is nothing to Dub Nation. They love you guys. They've said that multiple times, how much we love our fans at home. But for some reason, maybe they get performance anxiety. We're not sure. But as long as the Warriors still have this into the postseason, it's going to be tough for them. I do want to break that down here more in the second half of this video. But first, I do want to tell you guys about our sponsor here at Warriors Today is PrizePicks. I play PrizePicks every single game day, and here's why you guys should too. It is one of the easiest daily fantasy sports apps that you play, and I have so much fun playing it, especially comparing my PrizePicks to producer Smitty's, who plays this more than the average human being should. But hey, when you win, you win. I have won over 15 entries, and I have won over $400 so far on PrizePicks, and that is completely true. I never put money down on games until I found this app way before they were our sponsor, and now I'm obsessed. All you got to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats. That's it. It's like flipping a coin. It takes less than 60 seconds. I got Aaron Gordon having more than 9.5 rebounds and assists, and I got Draymond Green having more than just 1 3-pointer made. The Splash Cousin, maybe he's going to come back and do it again. So these are my prize picks for tonight's games. You guys can go ahead and make your own. Just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. And pick more, pick less. It is that easy. So when you're looking at the playoffs, if they make it into the first round, let's say the 8th seed, they're going to host 3 games in a 7-game series if it gets to that point. However, if the Warriors were to end up in a lower seed, they would start off on the road and then work their way up. Would you want more time to kind of adjust to your home court if you were to end up in the 9th seed? Probably. But the standings are still extremely close. So now my question here to you guys is, what seed do you want to see the Warriors end in? Just go on ahead and comment why or why not of what seed you would like the Warriors to play in, because you got to think about this. When I put it into big picture here, would they full screen so that you guys can see what the play-in is going to look like? If they end up in the 8th seed or the 10th seed, they'll play on the road. If they end up in the 7th or the 9th seed, they're going to play at home in the play-in. And then we're going to have to go from there. Of course, they're going to have to play at home when they do eventually make the playoffs. But right now for the play-in, I think their best chances are going to be when it comes to be in LA against the Lakers, or if they have to go to Phoenix and play the Suns, or if they have to go to Sacramento and play the Kings. So I know we're extremely excited for the Golden State Warriors, who continuously are moving up those rankings. But as of right now, I'm not so sure where I want them to end up because of what they've done at home. And when you look at what's in perspective here, this is what the end of the regular season has come to. The Warriors fans are rooting for the Suns to beat the Kings so they can get into 8th place, while the Suns fans are rooting for the Warriors to beat the Pelicans to get into 6th place. Do you see how confusing this is? This is the end of the NBA regular season, but once again, I'm not so sure that 8th place is that much more worth it if they have to play at home. Of course, it'd be a different opponent. If they were in the 9th or the 10th, they would have to play the Los Angeles Lakers. As of right now, things could change. As like I said, the standings are very close. But like I said, the Warriors would either have to end in 10th or 8th to play on the road. And I just don't know if I want the Warriors in 9th, because I don't want them to start off their playoff run, because it is one and done. If you're in that 9th seed and you lose at home, you then go to the second round. Correct? Yeah, then you go to the second round. The play-in does still confuse me, I will admit. But then you got to go to the second round, which, of course, could be a lot more tough. Who knows who you're going to face? It could be the Kings, it could be the Pelicans, it could be the Suns, it could be the Lakers. There are still a lot of teams who are vying for this position. So ultimately, I do think I would like to have the Golden State Warriors in 8th or 10th place. And then when I was doing some Google search, I found that on Undisputed on Fox Sports, Lil Wayne actually came on the show and talked about his lifelong team, the Los Angeles Lakers, and he does not want the Lakers to play the Golden State Warriors. And I don't blame him for this exact reason. He said, I'd much rather see LeBron James as him play the Kings because it's the Warriors. You don't want to play the Warriors. They experienced it. They've got Steph Curry over there, period. And you know I can't say the same for the Kings. I respect everybody over there. But even Lil Wayne knows what Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors can do in the postseason. So yes, while the seeding does matter, just because the Warriors have struggled playing on their home turf as opposed to on the road, the Warriors do still have probably some of the most experienced players when it comes to the postseason on their team. Like I said, they've created a dynasty of having a target on their back for the entire decade because of how and what they do in the NBA postseason. So if you had to pick one to play, who would you want to play? Los Angeles Lakers, Sacramento King, or the Phoenix Suns in the first round? Of course, that does, the play-in, I should say, because it does depend on what seed they have and which spot they're going to move into. While you guys are doing that, why don't you go ahead and hit that sub button for me? Anything and everything on the Golden State Warriors, you're going to find it right here, and I want you guys to be completely in the know. Just hit that sub button for me.